Good evening, St. Lucia. Good evening, St. Lucia. Babonneau, how are you doing tonight? All right, my name is Lucia here, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the St. Lucia Labour Party's Town Hall Tuesday. And this time we are live at the Assau Primary School in the constituency of Babonneau. Babonneau, give yourselves a round of applause. Let me tell you, comrades, we are so happy that you have decided to join us. We've always said that in order for us to stay elected, we must stay connected. And that is why the St. Lucia Labour Party is here in Babonneau this evening. As we get the ball rolling, we ask that you please stand as we invite Comrade Honorable Joakim Henry to lead us in prayer.
Good night to one and all. Let's assume the position for prayer. Our most kind Heavenly Father, we want to thank you this evening for so many things. We want to thank you, Lord, because you have been extremely good to us. You've blessed us. You've kept us alive for this evening's activity. You've kept us alive so that we could care for our family and care for our nation. We thank you in a special way, dear Lord, because you've blessed us with a government who cares. You've blessed us with a prime minister and leader who cares and who is leading well. Dear Father, we want to thank you for all the good things that you've bestowed upon the nation of St. Lucia during the past 3.5 years. We want to thank you, dear Lord, because you've blessed the prime minister with a heart of flesh, and he has poured goodness and kindness towards the people of St. Lucia. Dear Lord, as we are about to go into tonight's proceedings, we pray, dear Lord, that you visit our minds, our hearts, and you open our brain cells, dear Lord, that reflect what is good, what is honorable, what is beautiful in your sight. We pray in a special way for those who are on the way. We ask that you grant them traveling mercies. We pray in a special way for the parliamentary representative for this constituency, the Honorable Poyotte. We ask that you guide her as she delivers her remarks, and the Prime Minister as well. And dear Lord, we pray that you'll prepare us and the hearts of St. Lucia's for the time that is approaching, when we will go back to the people with our cards all bright and red, and they will say, well done, and return us to office. This we ask in the worthy name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Honorable Henry. Please remain standing for the national anthem of St. Lucia. Thank you. You may be seated. Yes, St. Lucia, we are live, streaming live on the St. Lucia Labour Party's Facebook page and, of course, YouTube. For those of you who are out in the diaspora, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. At this moment, we want to say a special welcome to the constituency of Babonneau, to the political leader, our Prime Minister, and 6-star General for Castries East, Honorable Phillip J. Pierre. We want to say good evening to the First Deputy Leader, Deputy Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Honorable Dr. Ernest Hippolyte, Parliamentary Representative for Castries South. Of course, Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyotte, your Parliamentary Representative for Babonneau. We have Honorable Joakim Henry, Parliamentary Representative for Castries Southeast. Honorable Jeremiah Norbert, hailing from Miku North, is here with us. We want to also say good night to the President of the Senate, Honorable Alvina Reynolds. It is a pleasure to have you with us, Madam, this evening. to senators, parliamentarians, Honorable Alfred staff at Prospere, all the way from Dennery South, came all the way to Babonneau in the north to be with you tonight. National Council members, General Secretary of the party, Chairman of Babonneau Constituency Management Group, the members of the Babonneau Constituency Management Group, women of the SLPWO, women, young people, men of the SLPYO, members of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Mamai Labour! How you feeling? Let me tell you, I am so excited because the SLP continues to make its rounds across all constituencies, north and south. You would have seen we were in Dennery South, then we came over to Castries Southeast, and this time we are in Babonneau, staying connected with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. We are live on Facebook. We are also live on WeTV and on YouTube. At this moment, we want to get the ball rolling, and the next voice you will hear is that of the parliamentary representative for Babonneau, Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyotte. Will start off with sharing some of her achievements, some of what is expected, to come, and of course we're going to pause at 8 p.m. because we do have an address to the nation by the Prime Minister. We're all very excited. We all want to know what the Prime Minister is going to talk about, but we will play it on the screen here this evening, live at 8 p.m. So I want to... All right, so we're going to have a little fun here, and since Jeremiah and Norbert got the biggest round of applause, we'll ask him to start the ball rolling and share with us what's been happening in his constituency, and of course to give fraternal greetings from Miku North. Let's give Comrade Jeremiah Norbert a round of applause.
Good night, Babonneau. No, Babonneau. Good night, Babonneau. Thank you very much. That sounds like the energy that we're looking for. That sounds like the energy of Dr. Virginia Poyotte. Tonight, it is a pleasure to stand here, and Lisa put me on the spot and ensured that I took the podium first. I said, no, go, comrade. You're always ready. But anytime I'm in Babonneau, I'm ready. And I know that you, the people of Babonneau, you too are ready. And I know very soon, well, I don't want to preempt because I'm not the Prime Minister, but I know very soon when the call is made again, Babonneau will be ready again. And I know that, where is Babonneau going at the next general election? Where is Babonneau going at the next election? That is it. A whoosh! Plea whoosh! And when we have these town hall meetings, you know, every time we have these town hall meetings, I get goosebumps because it reminds me of our last campaign. Remember the mobilization that happened at the last campaign? It just brings back memories of the last campaign. And the only thing I would hope to see different in this election is the two that we are missing. The 2 seats that we are missing to finish that link is that we can bring them home. And I want to encourage my Labour brothers and sisters to not take the next election for granted. Do not take, you've seen the gains of this government. You've seen what this Prime Minister has done for the people of St. Lucia. And there is no denying that no Prime Minister before this one has done what Phillip Pierre has done for the people of St. Lucia. And you know what this has caused? You see, when you do good, and they cannot fight you on policy, they cannot fight you on the back pay that the civil servants are going to get. They cannot fight you on the laptops that the children are getting in the schools. They cannot fight you on the oil that the farmers are getting and they don't have to pay for it. You know what they start to do? They attack your character. And that is all we've seen. And that's why for me, I feel I'm disappointed and disgusted with the level of what I've seen in terms of the opposition. And usually, you'd want to believe that an opposition is supposed to be a government in waiting. One thing I can tell you is that if that is what a government is in waiting is, I don't ever want to be a government in waiting. Never. Never. Phillip J. Pierre has made it difficult for any person. Any person. Eklat li ba eme, flabo eme pli. Ek se sa ka fe se flabo a fache ou sav. Paske flabo eme pli. And this man has the collective in St. Lucia. The Prime Minister has the collective. Everybody loves him. And they don't love him because he's a black man from Masha. They love him because he genuinely cares. And I do not know who prepared the quote, Phillip cares, when we had the last election. Nothing could have been more fitting than this quote, Phillip cares. He lives, he breathes, and sleeps. Phillip cares. So, with that, comrades, I want to say it's nice to be in Babonneau. I want to encourage you, never get complacent. Never ever get complacent. La moun ka di, oh, nou ha gen, men sa va la. Nou pa just vle gen, nou vle fle landslide. Landslide, and we need every one of you, comrades. We need every one of you here to play your part to ensure that next election we finish 17 for Labour, 0 for whatever that want to run, but 17 Labour, 0 whatever. Thank you very much.
17 Labour, 0 whatever. Thank you, Honorable Jeremiah Norbert. And of course, we have to invite Comrade Honorable Joakim Henry from Castries Southeast to bring fraternal greetings. Let's give him a round of applause.
Bonsoir encore. Good night. 5 minutes. I'll take less than that. Babonneau, est-ce pas oui? Labour, est-ce pas oui? My people, I need to remind you of just one thing tonight. A lot of people are asking what is it that Labour has done for them personally. And some people are asking the question because they intend to get something personally. Well, I had to answer that question to a friend of mine. And I said to her, I know I haven't built or helped you build your house. I know you did not get educational assistance. But your vote helped save children who got medical assistance. Your vote helped provide extra income in persons whose retirement amount was below the poverty line. Our poverty line is about 500, and when the Prime Minister decided to give it an increase, he took a number of St. Lucians who had worked for many years, retired, and they were on the poverty line. The Prime Minister changed that for them. So when you ask yourself, what is it that the party has done for you after you voted? You have saved many lives, my people. Your voting has helped many St. Lucians. And let me tell you, this government thinks of everyone. It thinks of people who need help. We think about St. Lucia and St. Lucians. And I'm happy that you are here. You are here not just because you received something personally, but you are here because you support a government that cares for every St. Lucian. When the time comes for voting, I know you will go to the polls and vote, because I can tell you, I know some young person who was able to get support and get cured from cancer. I know some people who got brain surgery. I know many individuals today, had it not been for your vote, they would not have been alive. I came just to tell you this, because I listened to the UWP's ask, well, how will Phillip continue this? How will he continue giving? Well, I tell you, if Phillip, with his heart, then J. Pierre will find a way, and Phillip J. Pierre will continue doing it. May God bless you as we move forward.
Thank you. Let's give Comrade Joakim Henry a round of applause from Castries Southeast. At this moment, we invite our comrade who has traveled so far. We thank you so much for being here with us. Honorable Alfred Prospere to bring fraternal greetings from Dennery South.
Good evening, Babonneau. Now, this is not enough. Bonsoir, Jean Babonneau. As Lisa said, I sorti juste there by Lila, and I made it here because your parliamentary rep cautioned me today that I must attend this meeting because the farmers of Babonneau have a lot of questions to ask me. But I did tell her I am not worried about the farmers of Babonneau and the farmers of St. Lucia on the whole, because this is the government that has given the most support to the agricultural sector. From fertilizer to lime, from lime to farm labor, from farm labor to compensation for boxes, and we are doing extremely well in the agricultural sector because we know how important it is for our food security. So I'm happy to be here tonight to respond to all of the questions regarding agriculture, because the other side, I don't want to mention the name because they're not so important to me, they continue to criticize the agricultural sector. Every time we provide support to the farmers, they would come out and say, Stabat of Alfred Prospere, the Minister for Agriculture, is doing nothing for agriculture. But this is not true. And I am going to make an announcement now that our farmers, through the good Prime Minister that we have, who cares about people and farmers included, we are going to provide support in the form of relief to assist the farmers who are impacted as a result of the black sigatoka disease. On the 14th, it's going to be a Friday, on the 14th of March, we will be providing some relief to our farmers. So I'm very happy to be here from Dennery South. The list is extremely long. I don't want to take all the time to say what we have to do, but I'm happy to see the Venezuelan ambassador here with us tonight, because she has been working with my ministry to get the government of Venezuela to donate 40,000 bags of fertilizer to our farmers. So our farmers are in an extremely good place, and as a government, as the Ministry of Agriculture, we will always continue to provide the support to our farmers. So I'm very happy to be here from Dennery South, and I look forward to hearing the questions and concerns that the constituents of Babonneau have for the Minister for Agriculture. Take care, and I'm wishing you a good day.
Thank you, Honorable Alfred Prospere. And we have one more voice that we must hear before we tune into the Prime Minister's address, even if it's 2 minutes. Our lady from the South, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, is here with us in Babonneau, parliamentary representative for Sejac, to share a few words.
Thank you, Lisa. Jean Babonneau, bonsoir, bonsoir. Tonight I'm here to give support to my dear sister. And it is a very good feeling to be here. When I listen, coming down, listening to the speakers before me, I said this is not an SLP meeting, this is a good news ministry. So, we've heard, and the reason why I'm calling it a good news ministry, brothers and sisters, every ministry in the government have delivered something to the people of St. Lucia. Every ministry. You've heard it here from infrastructure, who's not present here this evening. He has delivered something. Equity has delivered something. Our good sister in terms of gender has delivered something to us. Tourism has delivered. And I am standing here to tell you the Ministry of Commerce has also delivered. We have delivered in a few things, but in small things that has touched the lives of all of you. Each time you eat a piece of bread, Phillip J. Pierre has paid part of that for you. Anytime you go on to put the stove on, gouvernement Jacques paye 18 gas bar. And the difference that we have made last year, for the first time, you have a government focusing on business, the growth and development of business. Our MSME loan program has touched hundreds of small businesses. At our ministry, we have approved over 500 of these programs. And the St. Lucia Development Bank, when I checked, have disbursed more than 300 of our MSME loan programs. Ti business a joint $10,000, you a joint $20,000, you a joint $25,000. And out of what they got, they only have to repay 30% of that. Si pas bon, on passage rien qui primaire passer ça. So I want you to continue praying while we continue delivering for you, the people of St. Lucia. The people of Babonneau, I can tell you, you have a good parliamentary representative, and she's always batting for you. So let us continue supporting the government that have made a pledge to put you, the people of St. Lucia, first. I thank you.
Thank you. Let's give Honorable Emma Hippolyte a round of applause. Right now, we want to draw your attention to the screen as we pay very close attention to an address from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia to our people.
My fellow St. Lucians, good evening. The government of St. Lucia, when under the administration of the St. Lucia Labour Party, has always made the welfare of workers a priority and sought to ensure that wages are in line with the local and international economic environments. Putting people first is one of the core values and philosophy of the St. Lucia Labour Party. These values have been passed to generations of leaders and will continue to guide my administration's actions. A studied look at history will show that it has mainly been SLP-anchored governments that have championed transformative pro-worker legislation in St. Lucia. The Wages Council Ordinance No. 1 of 1952 was passed by the Sir George F.L. Charles administration. There were further amendments by Sir John M. Compton from 1965 to 1970. Decades later, it was the Dr. Kenny D. Anthony administration that passed far-reaching changes in labor legislation by enacting 4 critical pieces of legislation between 1999 and 2006. The Minimum Wage Act No. 27 of 1999, allowing for the creation of the Minimum Wage Commission. The Equality of Opportunity in Employment Act No. 9 of 2000, allowing for equal pay for men and women in the same occupation. The right to trade union representation when supported by the majority in the workplace. And 4, the exemption of income tax on service charge and tips by guests to hotel employees. You will recall that the previous administration deferred back pay due to public sector workers for salary increases negotiated for the triennium 2019 to 2022. Faced with a very difficult fiscal position upon assuming office in 2021, my administration has honored the previous government's commitment by making the following payments to public sector workers. In December 2022, 6.8 million back pay was paid to public sector workers. In March 2023, 11.5 million back pay was paid to public sector workers. My government, cognizant of the fact that pensioners had not received any increase in their wages under the previous administration, has taken the following action. In October 2022, 1.5 million as a first one-time cash payment of $500 to every pensioner. In November 2023, 1.7 million as a second one-time payment of $600 to each pensioner. In August 2024, government pensions were increased to a new minimum of $725 monthly. The minimum pension earned by NIC contributors was increased to $500 monthly. Further, in December 2024, a first ever $500 Christmas bonus was paid to all public sector workers and pensioners. In September 2022, the Minimum Wage Commission, comprising representatives of trade unions and the private and public sector, was approved by the Cabinet and appointed by the Minister of Labour to make recommendations for the enactment of a minimum livable wage for all workers. In October 2024, the first ever minimum wage for workers was implemented, guaranteeing a minimum wage of $1,131 monthly. My government is aware of the impact of imported inflation and continues to implement measures that seek to reduce the burden of the cost of living for working families on our island. We have increased the tax threshold to $25,000 per annum, removed service charges on basic foodstuff, provided subsidies on cooking gas, flour and rice, removed VAT on essential building materials and sanitary products, negotiated and facilitated the importation of poultry, meat, beef and pork products from Brazil in search of reduced prices. It is because of the government's concern for the burden of imported inflation on workers and their families that I urged and thanked the unions and the GNT to negotiate the best possible deal on the current economic circumstances for the workers of St. Lucia. In December 2024, the government negotiating team successfully completed negotiations with the Trade Union Federation representing workers from the following organizations: the St. Lucia Civil Service Association, the St. Lucia Fire Service Association, St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association, St. Lucia Nurses Association, St. Lucia Teachers Union, the Viewford Dock and General Workers Union. The Cabinet approved the agreement reached by the government negotiating team in January 2025. In February 2025, the Bodily Correctional Officers Association accepted the wage proposal. On February 2025, the government will pay a 6% tax-free back pay to all government employees from grade 1 to 18 for the triennium from April 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2025. The payment will amount to approximately $34.5 million and will be applied as follows: 2% salary increases for fiscal year 2022 to 2023, 2% for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, and 2% for the fiscal year 2024 to 2025. The back pay will be paid to all eligible public officers, fortnightly employees, and pensioners employed during that period. The government will also pay the increased salaries from this month on February 20th, 2025. In addition, eligible statutory bodies will receive an adjustment to the subvention to allow for the processing of back pay and salary increases for their staff. The government has also given consideration to pensioners who retired prior to April 1st, 2022 and would therefore not benefit from the triennium increases and back pay granted to public officers between grades 1 to 18. As a gesture of goodwill, the government has agreed to pay a one-time bonus of $500 to all pensioners who retired prior to April 1st, 2022. This one-time payment will total $1.5 million and will also be paid on February 20th, 2025. Going forward, public officers from grade 1 to 18 will receive a 7% salary increase for the triennium April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2028. This increase will be applied as follows: 2% for the fiscal year 2025-2026, 2% for the fiscal year 2026 to 2027, and 3% for the fiscal year 2027 to 2028. Although negotiations between the Government Negotiating Team, the GNT, and the Police Welfare Association and the National Workers Union are still ongoing, police officers and fortnightly paid workers represented by the National Workers Union will receive their back pay together with other public sector workers. However, I have instructed the Government Negotiating Team to use their best efforts to ensure that negotiations on issues of concern are resolved in an amicable manner at the earliest possible opportunity. My government is also in receipt of correspondence from the TUF, and discussions are ongoing on the matters raised. I want to thank the Trade Union Federation, the Government Negotiating Team, public sector workers, and the Cabinet of Ministers for working diligently and collaboratively to reach an agreement during the negotiations. I expect all public sector workers to make a special effort to improve workplace productivity for the benefit of the people of St. Lucia. My administration remains committed to the welfare of all workers and to the overall development of our country. Happy 46th Independence Anniversary to the people of St. Lucia. I thank you.
Give our Prime Minister a round of applause. And let me hear you repeat after me. Phillip cares. Phillip cares. One more time. Phillip cares. That is right. We want to thank our Prime Minister, political leader, Honorable Phillip J. Pierre, for that masterful delivery. And I'm so happy that you were here to witness it in person. At this moment, we want to invite the parliamentary representative for Babonneau, Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyotte, to make her presentation to you. Let's give her a round of applause.
Babonneau, a thriving rural heartland of St. Lucia, a community rich in culture, tradition, and resilience. Represented in Parliament by Dr. Virginia Albert Poyotte, Babonneau has seen remarkable progress in recent years. Agriculture remains the backbone of Babonneau, and Dr. Albert Poyotte has prioritized the needs of farmers. Under her leadership, farmers have received $3.5 million worth of fertilizer, 350 water tanks at no cost to them. The Farm Labor Support Program provided 12 months of assistance, while $17,000 in fuel vouchers has been spent. Another $33,000 was spent on road repairs, and $200,000 in drainage works at Marquis Estate helped strengthen the sector. Additionally, long overdue road improvements at Grand Anse and Marquis Estate have enhanced access for farmers after 50 years of neglect. Investing in education has been a top priority. The Lage Smart School was completed and major improvements were made to primary schools across Babonneau, from pre-K classrooms to refurbished washrooms and roofing at the Assau Primary. These projects ensure better learning environments for all students. Over 1,000 laptops were distributed to secondary school students under the laptop program, and more than 550 children benefited from the annual back-to-school assistance each year. Dr. Albert Poyotte has championed grassroots social and cultural development, organizing events such as Babonneau Day, the Babonneau Jazz segment of the St. Lucia Jazz Festival, and Nobel Laureate Week. In addition, community beautification competitions and transformation projects have revitalized local neighborhoods. Vouchers were provided for health and funeral expenses, and numerous families received short-term employment opportunities through the STEP program. Recognizing the importance of youth development, Dr. Albert Poyotte has made major investments in sports and recreation. Football tournaments were sponsored at Assau, and improvements to playing fields in Lage, Balata, and Debara are currently underway. Additionally, an outdoor gym is set to be erected in Babonneau Central, encouraging fitness and wellness for all. Decent and affordable housing is a fundamental human right, and Dr. Albert Poyotte has worked to provide land ownership opportunities at Talvan, restarted the housing development at Paris Lands, and built 13 homes for underprivileged families. Also, more than 120 families have benefited from home repair assistance, totaling over $1 million EC dollars.
Okay. And then with your key, madam, make sure you sleep safe in the house. That's for you. And that is from the government of St. Lucia. And I bring greetings to you from the Prime Minister, the Cabinet members, and myself as Parliamentary Rep.
Infrastructure improvements have been extensive. The $1.3 million Debara water purification plant was commissioned, ensuring clean drinking water for residents. Major drainage works and road upgrades have taken place across Babonneau, along with renovations and upgrades of 6 community hall buildings. Community and road direction signs were erected all over the community. In addition, 6 bus stops with shelters were constructed. Additionally, the Babonneau Library is being transformed into an ICT center, ensuring greater access to digital resources for the entire community. Dr. Albert Poyotte is a firm believer in the open door policy, holding regular town hall and zonal meetings. Through weekly engagements at her parliamentary office, she listens to the needs of her constituents, ensuring their voices shape the community's future. Through visionary leadership, dedication, and a commitment to progress, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyotte continues to transform Babonneau. Together, we build a stronger, brighter future for all.
Wow, wow, wow. Put your hands together for the parliamentary representative, Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyotte. At this moment, we want you to give her a round of applause as she brings further greetings to you.
Good night, everybody. Let me say good night to our political leader, Honorable Phillip J. Pierre, who happens to be the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Put your hands together for welcoming our political leader and Prime Minister of St. Lucia on holy ground in Assau, Babonneau. I want to welcome my other cabinet colleagues, Deputy Political Leader, Honorable Ernest Hiller, Parliamentary Rep for Miku North, my dinner. Parliamentary Rep for Castries South East, Honorable Joakim Henry, Honorable my sister Emma Hippolyte from Sulphur City, Honorable Alfred Prospere, Minister of Agriculture, Parliamentary Rep for Miku South, Denry South, and, oh, Monday I will listen and the chairperson of the Babonneau Constituency Group, Mr. Linus Justin, Senators, Madam Escalona, my good friend, other special invited guests, members of the General Council and Executive of the St. Lucia Labour Party, the media, the General Secretary of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Honorable Leo Clark. Who's that much you guys about Honorable Leo Clark? And last but not least, Mamai Babonneau. No, you see also for Assau. And let me call out the 18 communities in Babonneau that I have had the challenge in representing, and we call Debarra, Bogus, Lager, Monsitor, Plateau, Paybush, Lakwa, Gara, Babonneau Central, Tishime, Foasso, Chasse, Talvan, Kakojiwa Hill 20, Kabish, Balata, Timon, and Union Terrace. It has been a challenge to represent these 18 small communities. I want to recognize Honorable Wayne Chirad, who is in the house. Right. I want the people in Babonneau and the people who are strong supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party, I want to caution you that you must not allow people to confuse you with lies. Some people, if people are not ashamed and afraid of saying lies, why should you be afraid and ashamed of saying the truth? And this is the party that stands on the side of the truth. And tonight, I want to share with you the truth. And many people underestimate people when they keep quiet. But when you keep quiet, you listen, you analyze, you digest, and you are ready to respond. And when the United Workers' Party go on the platform and they talk about the government of St. Lucia paid my medical bills to go Martinique, they have to stop it because they will have to answer and show evidence where the government of St. Lucia paid for my medical bill. Yo ni pour stop mati. Ek mati a commencé et puis Timothy Poyotte. Timothy Poyotte said on his radio show how the government paid 680 something thousand euros for my medical bill. And at that time I had not seen my medical bill. So when did Timothy pay bill? And when I said that, he changed it around and he said, no, it's money the government owe Martinique for medical that St. Lucians had incurred in Martinique. And the people who support the United Workers' Party continue to repeat that statement on the platform. I'm sending a message to them that they should stop it because they will have to produce the bills where the government of St. Lucia paid my medical bill. And we do not play with people's health because health is our wealth. And this government has invested heavily in health to protect the lives of every single St. Lucian. So, let us go with the truth. 3 years ago, I was elected the parliamentary rep for Babonneau. And I am very grateful that the political leader, Honorable Phillip J. Pierre, and Prime Minister of St. Lucia invited me to serve in his cabinet as a minister. Put your hands together for my Prime Minister and my political leader. I want to thank the people in Babonneau who placed their confidence in me and asked me to represent them. And this I have done with the resources, my voice, and the support from the Prime Minister and my cabinet colleagues. One of the things I want to share with you is that I feel, and I know Sister Emma Hippolyte will share that as a woman elected in politics, you notice we don't have many women who get elected in politics, and you wonder why. Women tend to look at things from a different lens. And from our approach in politics, when the Prime Minister gives us $1, we stretch it and we make it look like $5. Auntie and my stretch lasha sofuye. Ek meka stretchly over the 18 communities in Babonneau. Ek lower se tipotre sa la. Sa se l'argent qui quand we meka stretchly pour tout le monde and something. And one of the focus is because a lot of the projects that we do, women cannot participate in that. And that is why the Prime Minister said the little money that he gives, try and see how we can get as many people as possible to benefit. And that is why we give small projects, and a lot of women have become contractors now. They always say the men will do the work and the women will. No. If the women have the little contracts, the contracts are on their names. So sometimes the boyfriends do the work, the husbands do the work, draw. So once they get the check, they will share it. They'll buy food in the house. They will send the children to school. So we have to find a way to help our women to share part of the pie. That is the difference Auntie Emma and myself have brought in to ensure that our women can get a little share of the pie. And we are encouraging our other colleagues to do the same. You see how smart they are? Both men and women get their fair share of the pie. I want to inform you that one of the things I have done the most in Babonneau is to engage the people. And I have had hundreds of town hall meetings in Babonneau, all over, in all the communities. We have zonal meetings. And these zonal meetings, basically, you allow the people to have a say. They will tell you if they need a bus stop, if they need a drain, if they need a grill, if they need this. Everything I implement in Babonneau is because the Babonneau people said they want this and they want that. And I have community meetings in all over in Babonneau. And it is for this, during the last 3.5 years, I have repaired every single community building in Babonneau. Every single community building has been painted, refurbished, toilets, everything. And when you go there, you find yourself in a nice building to have your meeting. So we have done refurbishment in Laguerre, in Bourgis, Debarra, Plateau, Gara, Assau, and Babonneau Central will be the big one. And Balata, they use my constituency office to have meetings. So every community get a place to gather to discuss. Many people stood by the road waiting for transport. They are there, rain, sun. They have nowhere to shelter. And therefore, I have built 6 bus shelters in Babonneau. Because Babonneau is a huge community. And that is added to the 7 that we found there. So, Virginia Katwaba. We have erected community names. People say when they come to Babonneau, they get lost. We have community names all over. So you know when you are in Assau, you know when you are in Laguerre, you know when you are in Bourgis. And now we are putting the direction sign. So you cannot get lost in Babonneau anymore because we have provided that for you. And we spoke about technology. Babonneau has benefited from GINet and internet all over in Babonneau. We have GINet in Laguerre, Plateau, Balata. Bourgis have 4 locations, Debarra. And we already had in Assau and Gara and Babonneau Central. So Babonneau is getting technologically savvy. And we have an ICT center which will be set up at the Babonneau Multipurpose Center. And there are 2 schools in Babonneau that got smart classroom, the Babonneau Secondary School and the Babonneau Primary School. And all the other schools have the laptop, the computer labs. In Babonneau, we have the 18 communities where we have built roads, repaired grills, built drainage. This is the place where we have built the most drains in Babonneau because Babonneau is very mountainous, the water going downhill. Everybody wants a drain by their homes or somewhere. And we have really constructed drains in Babonneau. What you saw there was just like 5% of what we have done in Babonneau. 5%. Because Babonneau is a very, very challenging community. And if you drive on the main road in Babonneau, you will never see the amount of work I have done in this constituency. We have had many social programs. We help in burial, we give educational assistance, and when we give educational assistance, about 550 children benefit from that. Medical assistance, housing, yes, we have repaired almost 200 homes in Babonneau, and we have built 13 houses for the people in Babonneau. Now, when all parliamentarians were elected, they asked them to write 5 things they want to achieve during the election, if they win the election. And no, all what I mentioned there are top up. Because I work with the manifesto as my Bible. So when people say you have not done anything, I say let's check the manifesto. 1, I said I will do this. 2, I said I will do that. 3, so I have covered. And one of the things I promised was to give Babonneau people access to land. And the first thing I achieved was to give the people in Talvan access to land at $2.50 a square foot. And the land that is sold next to them now is $14.50. And they got it for $2.50 right here in Assau. We are building a signature project in each community. And Assau's signature project is what we call the sporting arena. And the sporting arena for Assau is known for its football, New Generation, one of the top football teams in St. Lucia, right over there. And we have repaired the community hall, we are repairing the court, they have the playing area for the infants, the stands and so on. And no signature project must cost less than $100,000. Yes, that's what we are doing. Every community gets a signature project. And in Timon has almost reached its signature project. We built a bridge there for them. Gara, we're working on the playing field. In Debara, we are working on the community hall. Babonneau and Blage, we are doing the junction. And Plateau, we are doing the tourist lookout point. So Minister of Tourism, we're waiting for the finishing, but we have started, right? And after you finish those signature projects, we are getting ready for the mega projects now. Now, I wanted the Prime Minister to announce the mega projects. You notice he has paid out the back pay. I said, I just whispered in his ear, PM, it seems you came to Babonneau Brooks. Because he has given out everything, but don't worry, he will find it. He knows how to manage the economy. So we are getting ready for the mega projects in Babonneau. And the mega projects, I will just announce them, but these are projects that the Prime Minister has committed. It's not something I'm just saying because I want to say that to you. He has made a commitment that we will fix the Assau Road from Ministry of Infrastructure, and that road will form a link road between Gara and Bogis. There is no connection directly between Gara and Bogis, and therefore the people at Bogis are trapped. It's like a dead end, and the people at Gara are trapped like a dead end. So when we connect this road, it will cause a ring road where people can traverse in these communities. We have the Poyotte Road. The Poyotte Road, the Assau people, you know the challenges the farmers had on the Poyotte Road. We have done the drainage, and we have done some level of resurfacing. That has cost over $152,000 to help them to get to the farm. We have just started the Lafitte Road, where we are doing the drainage for the people. That cost over $100,000. And we have done some remedial work for Maki and Grantons. And these are places, in Grantons, that's where we produce about 50% of the watermelon in St. Lucia. And we had to help the farmers. Over 50 years, that road had never received any resurfacing or attention. And we went in there, we fixed the road so now they can go up and down, carry their fertilizer, carry their produce. So we have gone out to help these farmers here. So, the other mega project we'll have a smart health center, and they are going to start work on that. The Babonneau Health Center will get some attention. And in the case of youth and sports, the Lager playing field and the Debara playing field will get major attention. And then, in agriculture, we want to recommission the agro-processing plant so that the farmers can sell their produce there. And in housing, we hope to have a twin tower at Talbot. The Prime Minister has committed to the Talbot housing project. That's what it is, PM. First time PM in that. Honorable Richard Fredericks, under his ministry, will be working on that. So PM, don't be surprised. These are committed already. Okay, so we'll have the housing project. And in Babonneau, we are going to refurbish the Babonneau Multipurpose Center with an addition of an administrative block so that the Ministry of Housing and Local Government have started some work to upgrade Babonneau to a small village or town. We are looking forward to crowning Babonneau as a village or town. Now, I have not only worked in Babonneau, but I have worked as a minister, what the Prime Minister assigned me to. And I just want to tell you that you need to put your hands together for the Prime Minister and his cabinet of ministers. I want you to put your hands together. Now you will be wondering why. Because you just listened to an address to the nation. And the Prime Minister was talking about wage increase for public officers. And the Ministry of the Public Service is the ministry responsible for ensuring that we get negotiation going to bring it to a logical conclusion. And this is what happened. And this is something the Prime Minister and his cabinet colleagues are very mindful of. The St. Lucia Labour Party is a party that is concerned about workers in this country. We came from the bosom of George F.L. Charles, and therefore we cannot go out there and negotiate with public officers and then we have Roro. We have to discuss with them. And we have to arrive at something that is acceptable. And that is exactly what the Prime Minister has done. I want you to put your hands together again. I am minister with responsibility for gender. And every time people hear gender, they think it's women. Gender is about men and women. And there must be equality between men and women. And therefore, areas where you see women are lacking, where they are missing support, you have to give them a little more. And this is what the government has been doing. In areas where women need additional support, training, employment, support for their children, especially the single mothers, this government is sensitive to that, and all parliamentarians are paying attention to ensuring that both men and women are treated fairly in this country. And when I became minister, for 2.5 years, the Prime Minister gave me a portfolio called the Ministry of Public Service, Home Affairs, Labor and Gender Affairs. And last year, he shifted Home Affairs and he split it in two. Now, that's not split in the middle, that's split in two. He split it in two, and one part became part of Ministry of National Security, and the other part Home Affairs. So the portfolios I had under me now, we have 3 ministers responsible for that. So while he's giving back pay and increasing salary, I have to send my paper to him. So he can pay me for the extra work. But at the end of the day, that is what it meant. And during the time that I had Home Affairs under my watch, I visited every single police station. I visited every single fire station. I went to Babonneau over 7 times. And that is how you understand. I came out. I went to Babonneau and I came out. Because at the end of the day, if you don't understand what's happening on the ground, you will not be able to represent them. And the police, the firemen, those working, the correctional officers, they were so happy when they saw I stepped into the station to find out what condition they worked on. And the Prime Minister responded almost immediately. There are places where we had to repair. The freezer was rotten. The door of the cupboards had termites. And these things were repaired almost instantly. That is the work of the government of St. Lucia. Right? The Prime Minister started the Northern Police Divisional Headquarters in Grosselet. When I went there and I saw the conditions in which the police were working, the Prime Minister said, no, that should have been done by the last government. Why they have not done it? And he put pressure, and then we got this started. Then we went to Viewfort, and we saw where they put the police in another building, and the old building they're getting rusty. They should have spent only $300,000 to repair that police station. Now the government has to spend over $4 million to repair it. Because it was neglected by the last government. And now they are talking about all kind of things, all kind of stories, as if the things that they did we have forgotten. Nous pouvons oublier ça, gouvernement qui était là à faire. Changer tout ça yo faire. Et puis mettre ya sous liste là. Et yo, no way, ou pas passer. Right? And Babonneau will be back in government whenever the Prime Minister rings the bell. They said the Prime Minister rang the bell in Dominica. Mais nous pas t'étonner, nous juste ici, nous pas t'étonner. C'est layering ici à Ogaitan. So we are staying here. We are staying with Labour. And Labour Party will form the next government when the Prime Minister called that election. Parce que nous travaillons. Nous travaillons. We have taken care of education, health, tourism booming, agriculture, business, just name it. Security, tout bagay. Phillip Pierre ni an mop, qui a mop tout bagay. Right? Et nous allons ranger St. Lucia. And when we finish, la pani le, pour pièce l'autre moun a tout. Labour Party will run this government, will run St. Lucia for the interest of the people in St. Lucia. Changez-moi des autres ça. La pani pièce le pour I woulda do, I coulda do, and I shoulda do. Paisia, we will do it. We are doing it. That's what we are doing. Right? So, I want to encourage you, the people in Babonneau, pas quitter ce plan having confused you. We are on the right track. The St. Lucia Labour Party is on the right track. We are looking after the interests of the people. We are working with the people, and let us stay on the ground. Let us connect with the people, and let us work for them. And with that, I am very confident that we are under the able leadership of Phillip J. Pierre and the Cabinet of Ministers, and St. Lucia is doing well. Babonneau is here to stay with Labour, with the political leader and Prime Minister, whenever he decides to ring the bell in St. Lucia. Thank you to my cabinet colleagues for your support. Thanks to the political leader and Prime Minister, Honorable Phillip J. Pierre. Thanks to the chairman and deputy political leader. Those of you from other constituencies who have been encouraging and supporting me, I say thank you. Thanks to the residents of Babonneau. Let us make it happen by securing the victory for the St. Lucia Labour Party and Babonneau as we continue to unify our constituency, remain transparent, give an account of what we have done, what we are doing, and what we plan to do to ensure that there is progress all over St. Lucia. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Poyotte. Let's give Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyotte, Parliamentary Representative for Babonneau, a round of applause. Very impressive slate, comrade sister. We want to thank you so much for your presentation. At this moment, we invite the political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, our Prime Minister, Honorable Phillip J. Pierre, leader of St. Lucia, to address you.
Thank you, thank you. Comrades! Comrades! Comrades, good night. Today, I was supposed to address the nation. Or I addressed the nation. And somebody say that I call in elections. Flambeau vin fou. Si ou est flambeau à sous WhatsApp. Si ou est flambeau à sous iPhone. Si ou est flambeau. He calling elections. He calling elections. Every day you say, call it. Every day. You all over the place. Making a lot of noise. Call it. You know it's me calling it. You know it's me. You can't call it. The people of St. Lucia tell you, you cannot call it. It's I calling it. So when I decide to address the nation, you getting mad. Tanto. The day is coming soon. All your talk, all your threats, all your promises to do Hile and me and Richard and everybody, the time is coming when you will have to face the people and you'll have to account to the people of St. Lucia for what you did when you were in power for 5.5 years. They want you to forget they were in power for 5.5 years. They want you to forget that. But we will remind them. Today, comrades, on the 20th of February, we will put in the economy of St. Lucia over $75 million. And I want you to ask the United Workers' Party, can they ever beat that? Look at our record. Look at our record. Look at our record in government. Look at what we have done in this country from July 2021 to now. Look at the record. Just look at the record. And compare that record to what they did when they were there for 5.5 years. They left us with debt. They owed civil servants. They could not pay civil servants and police. They could not pay them the back pay that they owed them when they left office in 2021. And I, with the help of the cabinet of ministers, we paid them the back pay that the United Workers' Party could not pay them. Challenge that. Say it loud. Challenge that. Challenge it. You could not pay the back pay. And now, for the first time in St. Lucia's history, we had negotiations with all the unions, and there was no problems. We sat like men and women. In fact, the GNT sat. And with honesty and with trust, we said the economic situation in the country, and we decided, the unions and the GNT, that under circumstances, we could give civil servants one of the best packages, including wages, that have been given to the country in recent times. Because we respect civil servants. We respect them. And now, the United Workers' Party, they've gone on a track of attacking health services in St. Lucia. You know who they're attacking? Jeremiah, not a doctor. Jeremiah is police. Hippolyte, not a doctor. Hippolyte is a political scientist. Me, I'm far from being a doctor. Hippolyte is a doctor too, you know, and Virginia. Me a doctor, but a doctor can Bible peeling. So, they're on a rampage attacking the health service. Can Jeremiah Norbert send anybody for medical attention abroad? Pas docteur qui a voyé moun where docteur a lot pays. Ou quoi Jeremiah ça dit moun you sick go overseas to a doctor. But when they attack the health services, you know who they're attacking? They're attacking the nurses, they're attacking the doctors, they're attacking the community health aides, and they're attacking these health workers who work so hard for the benefit of the people of St. Lucia. That is who they're attacking, not me. Not me. They want to use me as proxy, not me. When they say they have no confidence in the health service in St. Lucia, they are saying they have no confidence in the nurses and the doctors. But I'll tell you what, the nurses and the doctors are not perfect. But I and the cabinet, we have confidence in the nurses and doctors in St. Lucia for the hard work that they do in the health services. So don't play you attacking me or attacking the cabinet of health services. Then you go and you lie. You say that you send Jeremiah, you give money. I'll tell you something. Anytime you catch the United Workers' Party on a lie, they come back with another lie. Anytime you catch them. So now, it is not Jeremiah they give money, it's they open the airport for him. So you are giving money, you open the airport. Last week, you give money. Pierre lie. They can never identify a lie that they say I ever said. Never. So, we gave Jeremiah money. Now Jeremiah come and say, you are giving no money. So we didn't give Jeremiah money. We approved to open the airport for him. We saw a pilot. But that's what they do. I heard one of them reading impact report as if impact report is something new. You were in government. You created impacts. The impacts report came back. You did nothing about it, but you're blaming me. How are you blaming me? Why didn't you do something on impacts when you were in government? Why didn't you do something? In fact, what you said is, I just met the U.S. ambassador, and I've solved impact. So I could monte. You had lie. You said you solved impacts. Now you say I have to solve it. So you go like a hypocrite and you read something on the papers about impact. I'll tell you something. There is nothing the United Workers' Party can say or do that we on this side cannot challenge and prove that we are better than them or they lie. Anything. Let's talk about anything. Let's talk about the economy. let's talk about agriculture, let's talk about sports, let's talk about health, let's talk about anything. And I'll tell you something. I've told you before that I'm happy. I've told you before that I love you. I've told you before that I smile. I've told you before that in the next general elections, we'll win all 17 seats. And that is why they are spreading that hatred. That's why they are vexed. That's why they hate me. That's why they hate us. There have a few of them in my constituency walking all over the place. They have a book in their hand. What's your name? Tick. What's your name? Tick. What's your name? Tick. I tell the people in my constituency, anytime they ask them, what's the name? Say, yes, Tick. Because they have been doing that now from 1997. The same group of them, the same group, walking all over the place. What's your name? Tick. You know what? Last election, I won by 2,000 odd votes. You see, they gave me vexed now. Now you see, don't get me vexed. Now I don't get vexed. But this election, when they finish with all the ticks, we are going, now listen to me, Hile and I have a competition. Hile believes that he can get more votes than me. Last election, I beat him. Election before, I beat him. But this time, he said he beaten me. So I'll tell you something. I will win by 3,000 votes. So for Hile to beat me, he must win by 3,001. So I'll tell you something. This election, we have to teach these guys a lesson. We have to make sure that all of them who insulted the people of St. Lucia, who said to the people of St. Lucia, I just start to make you cry, who called the people of St. Lucia dogs and pigs and all kinds of names, we have to teach them a lesson. We have to secure the victory. We have to secure the victory. Because we cannot allow this country to go back where it was a few years ago. We cannot allow it. We can't allow it. So right now, we have decided to work with the unions to improve the working conditions for the people of St. Lucia. They are trying to create problems some other place. But me, I, and the cabinet, if they think they will ever get me to look for trouble with people who serve this country, if they think that I'll create any situation where the people of this country cannot get the security that they need, let them think again. Think again. Because we have increased the police force by 79 people this January. As we speak, we are recruiting another 80 new police officers. Last week, 40 special constables were initiated into the Royal St. Lucia Police Force last week. So that means in the last 2 months, 190 new officers joined the ranks of the St. Lucia Police Force. Because we believe in the security of the people of St. Lucia. And I challenge any one of them, any United August Party, to say,
which government has done more for the men and women of the St. Lucia, Royal St. Lucia Police Force? I challenge them. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Tell me what you've done. What you did for the police apart from having dinners and balls. Now listen to me. Who serve mud flamboyant? A ball is a dance. Because you know already. Apart from having dinners and balls, you have done nothing. You left the police in Grosillé, in a station that you should have built from 2016. You did not build it. You said you would have built it. I went to Grosillé and I promised the police. But you know, some of them who were supposed to be in Grosillé wasn't there. So probably they did not have. Because I promised the police that I would build new headquarters for them. And as we speak, the most modern police headquarters in the region is being built. Tell them to beat that. Beat that. They left the people in Beaufort. Instead of repaying the people police station, they left them out, put them somewhere, and left them. We came into government, and we started the reconstruction of that police station. And now, they say there are a few issues. We have completed these issues. And by March, the police in Beaufort will be in spanking new quarters. Tell them to beat that. Beat it. Police vehicles. Let us count the number of police vehicles we have given to the police since 2021. Beat that. Count it. Let's count. Let's go check. Let's see what you did and what I did. Look at police equipment. Look at police training. We gave the police for the first time about 50 new motorcycles. And I hope those are the accidents, I hope they are getting better. 50 new motorcycles. We gave them all types of new equipment. We gave them scanners. We gave them jet skis. And right now, we are going to be ordering for every policeman in this country a bulletproof vest and a belt. For every policeman in this country. Tell them to beat that. Beat it. Beat that. So my brothers and my sisters, I want to tell you, we are concerned more than them, than they ever cared about the welfare of the police and citizen security in this country. Having said so, I want to express my deepest condolences on the tragic death of the young lady in Corinth. And I want you to observe a minute's silence for her. Thank you. But it is very unfair. It is very unfair for UWP politicians to be using the poor lady's tragic death for political gain. They laugh. They almost rejoice. They almost rejoice when somebody unfortunately loses their life because of the reckless act of some uncaring person. Instead of joining with the government, instead of expressing condolences to the family, instead of saying that we must get together, instead of saying that if it's a crime, we must report it, what they do, they play politics with that. They seek to get political gain when somebody tragically loses their life. But we're not in that. We are not in that. Our job is to give the police all the resources that we possibly can under the circumstances. That's our job. And we will continue to give the police the resources and let them play the politics in opposition, because that is where they will remain in opposition for a long, long time. So, my sisters and my brothers, I want to be able to ask questions. But before I go, I want to tell you, this election, the United Workers' Party have reached a level of desperation never heard or seen before in St. Lucian politics. There has never been a party that is so desperate, that is so consumed with the fact that the people of St. Lucia rejected them, that they will say anything. They say anything. They do anything. You heard one of them saying to people, talk about victimization. Take the names of the police so we can handle them when we get into power. I ever said so? Have you heard any member of my party ever said that? Have you heard any member of our party openly decide that they're going to victimize people? And you heard them. Oh, Pierre crying, he just started to cry. You in opposition, you saying that, much less when you get into power. If you threatening people like that in opposition, you're all over the place, annoyed, angry, calling people to do violence because the people rejected you. But, comrades, stay focused. Stay focused. As for me and my cabinet, we are focused. Many things are going to be happening between now and when? We come in. Many things are going to be happening. You're going to see many things happening between now and then. But stay focused. Do not allow the United Workers' Party to make you angry. Do not listen or spread the lies or propaganda. A few weeks ago, they were on Martinez, a plane come and take Hillel and me, FBI being a plane. I say, I see that way. Gone to New York, come back with evidence. Pierre this, Hillel this, Pierre. Actuellement, it's not Martinez again, it's the Justice Department. They finished that. Done. Martinez done. Now it's Justice Department. So anytime you catch them lying, they say another lie. Anytime you hear them, we had health insurance. Nous pouvons voir your papier qui dit rien about health insurance. Not one piece of paper. You would have do health insurance. Where's the documents? Every time they would have done something. Every time the plane coming empty. I met a prime minister last week. He said to me, "Boy, where you get from? How you mean the man say that his hotel empty and you tell him close his?" But it's simple. If tourism doing so bad and the planes coming empty and the hotels are in trouble, close yours. So come back and say that you have closed yours because, why you have closed yours? Stupid is stupid. Because these guys say these things all over the place. They lie. They pretend they are big things. They know finance. You wreck an economy. You gave us an economy with a primary deficit. You wreck it. When you hear the estimate, we don't only have a current surplus, we have a primary surplus because of the management of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Beat that. Let the facts speak. Talk figures. Bring your figures. Say what you did. Compare your economy. I'm going to compare my management of the economy with yours. I'll compare it before COVID and after COVID. Hile will talk about the investment on the Ministry of Tourism before and now. Beat that. Beat it with facts. You heard Virginia, what she's done in Babonneau. Now I understand that there are many contending candidates in Babonneau. You lie? But, you know, I call him nobody name. I am not calling anybody's name. Nobody's name. Because all I want to see is anytime you put your leg into the political arena, you must be ready to accept what politics gives. That's all. So if you decide that you want to leave your job, come into politics, do not expect that they will say you are a new kid in town, you are Blessed Virgin Mary's son, and you get married. Because once you join the United Workers' Party, we say membet, memquel. You cannot join a party of the people I see there. Never. Once you join that, you're just like them. You cannot say you're different if you join them. So they're trying to create confusion and say we have this and that. So I said to Monday, tell them we have 3 candidates want to run every seat. 3 fellas want to run against me. 4 against Hile. 3 of them want to run against me. So confusion. You know, 3 of them do. So that's what? Confusion, that's confusion. There are 3 fellas want to run against me. They want me out, so 3 fellas want to run against me. So my sisters and my brothers, now this question time. I want you to understand that we are in government to serve you. We're not in government for ourselves. We're not in government because we hate anybody. We're not in government because we want to prove anything to our Father. We're in government because we want to serve you. And all the policies of this government. Because when we decide that on Friday, we'll have nearly $80 million in the economy. That money is for you to spend on yourself and your families. Because we understand what working families go through. We understand inflation. We are trying our best to reduce the cost of living. We are trying our best to ensure that your dollar stretches. That is why we decided that we would give a 13% pay increase to civil servants because they deserve it. They had predicted that our economy would wreck. You heard them say that Pierre say that he can't borrow no money. They said so. You heard them say that civil servants would not get their salary because we would mismanage the economy. You heard them say we would not be able to pay our debt. Not only we are doing better than them, we are producing more than them, and the people are happier than when they were there. So my sister, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. I want to tell Virginia that she must continue doing the work in Babonneau. Continue. Because in this election, I want us to win every seat. Not because I don't want democracy. There is natural democracy. But what these guys are doing is not democracy, it's hatred. What they're doing is not trying to improve the country, but it's trying to victimize people. What they're doing is not trying to make life better for you, but trying to make life worse for you because they attack the health services. What they are doing is not trying to save St. Lucia, but they're trying to encourage criminals to break the law because they want to get political points to say, under us, X amount of people suffered and died. That's what they're doing. They're not saying, they're counting. You heard one of them. Next year, there'll be 100 murders. You think that's what you can say if you want to run this country? You think that's what you want to say if you want
to run this country. And remember, one of them said, we want to run the country like a business. You know who said that? I call anybody name. The last person who said that, look at what they're doing, running the country like a business. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Can we have them, please? There's a mic there, and there are other ministers there. So ask the questions and you answer.
Good night, everybody. It's not a question, it's a compliment. Prime Minister and your cabinet, I want to say a big thank you to what you're doing for the people of St. Lucia. A big thank you. Every aspect of life, everybody is feeling what you're doing. And your mantra of putting people first, it's manifested all over in St. Lucia. I want to remind you one time when you was Minister of Infrastructure, and there was not enough money to give everybody a contract. You called me, because I still work at infrastructure, and you said, Von, boy, I don't have enough money to give everybody. And what you did, you paid contractors. And what you said to all the contractors, bring your workers together, so you put 2, 2, 2, and then the profit, you will share it. So that means you left everybody with something to go home with to feed their families. And that is what I see you doing now with your cabinet. You touching the lives of everybody. Keep it up. Keep it up. Your blessings will come. They will throw stones. They will do all kind of things. But with goodness on your side, nothing, whatever they do, can touch you. Thank you.
Since you have, because let me let Dr. Hiller come and take the questions. You can say a few words to you while the questions are coming.
Should I proceed?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Good night, brothers and sisters. I just received flack from my UWP friends, especially concerning the port situation and
the what?
The ports, the new port that the new company that wants to invest in our port. And so if you could better explain it so that I could have answers, okay. Because I know most of what they're saying isn't true and half lies, half true. So if you explain it a little more, if it has been signed, what's been promised, what percentage the company going to what length, the length of the term limit. Explain that a little more,
all right.
Please.
I will let Dr. Hiller explain that to you. But all I can tell you is that the GPH project will ensure that port tourism, port services are improved, and the government of St. Lucia will not have 1 cent of debt. But Dr. Hiller will give you more details.
Good night, Babonneau. And I see Castry South in the house. So I must say good night, Castry South. Castry North too? Good night, Castry North. Now, after that performance from the Prime Minister, you know, is now the flabeau scared. That reminds me of vintage Phillip J. Pierre, a masterful presentation. You ask about GPH, but I have to say a little piece too, before I even answer you about GPH. Who is the deputy leader of the United Workers' Party? Guy Joseph. Just imagine if, God forbid, and UWP ever come into power and something happened to Chasney, who will be in charge? If you believe it is bad already with Alan Chasney, imagine Guy Joseph in charge. Think about that. And I'm sure you all heard Guy Joseph recently said some of the most unkind things about the Labour Party. That whenever you join the Labour Party, he doesn't know what blood we drink in. Remember that? Everything Guy Joseph talks about is about evil, about obia, about voodoo. Imagine if Guy Joseph ever in charge of this country. GPH now. You know the United Workers' Party, sans honte. They have no shame. And the Prime Minister is right. Every time you corner them, they come up with a new lie. When we got into office, they already had the GPH agreement. Think about that. They already had it. In fact, they had negotiated it. There was one signature on it already. When we came in, we decided that before we move forward, we had to review what they had agreed to already. And we told GPH we were not happy with what they had. We wanted a better agreement. Think about that. The same people that are out there criticizing GPH had already agreed with GPH. And let me say to you, GPH never bought no port. They've not taken over the port. What we have agreed with GPH, unlike what they were agreeing to, is that they will manage cruise services at the port. So they're not in charge of the port, they're not controlling the port. All they are managing is the cruise services at the port. Now, you might ask the question, why didn't we just tell GPH to go away? We don't need you, we don't want you in St. Lucia. But when we reviewed what GPH can bring for St. Lucia, we told them, we want to make a deal with you because you can bring improvements to St. Lucia, but you must give us more than what UWP had agreed to. That's what we told them. The same way, you remember DSH in Beaufort. We said, we're not against investment in the country. We want investment. We want our people to work. We want the young men and the young women to dream of a future where they are earning a livelihood in this country. But we want it on terms and conditions that are in the best interest of St. Lucians. We said to them clearly, we want investors to make profits in the country. We will give you incentives and concessions to make profits, but St. Lucians must benefit the most from any agreement. That's our principle, that's our philosophy. We said it to Cabot as well. We said to Cabot, the eggs are already broken, but let's make omelets, but St. Lucians must get the better deal in it. So you need to redesign and reorganize and come again. So with GPH, we said very clearly, we need a better deal. So they are going to manage cruise services. We've agreed to give them a period of 30 years where they will manage cruise services. And they've given us targets as to what they will bring to St. Lucia. The first thing they had to do was pay off the debt of Slasper, which is about $20 million US, which they did immediately upon signing and the commencement of the project. So Slasper took off almost $20 million off their books, US. They took away this. We added with GPH, they had to redevelop the Soufrière waterfront. UWP did not have that in the agreement. So there will be a special program to redevelop the Soufrière waterfront to make Soufrière, which is already the premier tourism site in St. Lucia, even more attractive than what it is. And that project will start, the works will start very soon. GPH already this year, we will have almost 825,000 cruise passenger arrivals in this country. 825. And within 2 years, we expect it to go up to 1 million passengers coming into St. Lucia. almost 1 million cruise passengers commissioner. Why is that possible? It's because GPH controls so many ports all over the country, all over the world. Already, they manage in Antigua, and they are discussing other ports in the Caribbean that they will manage. It means GPH has the capacity, because they have so many ports that they manage in cruise services, including Puerto Rico, to be able to bring more cruise ships to the areas where they manage. So we are expecting to get a substantial improvement from GPH. GPH has also agreed, and work will commence very shortly, to redo the Vendors Arcade and to expand it. So the Vendors Arcade will be upgraded, and it will be expanded to go where the old fire station was. So there will be a more modern, expanded Vendors Arcade. They will also build a boardwalk from Sanssouci Bridge all the way down to the Vendors Arcade. So just imagine the entire waterfront in front of the government buildings being redeveloped. So cruise passengers walking from the cruise ships to go down to Castries will walk on this new modern boardwalk in front of the government buildings. And they will also build a new finger pier by the Vendors Arcade, so tenders can leave Point Seraphine and come there for people who want to go to the Vendors Arcade. And also, the wharf has a kink on it. It's not very straight. So they are going to spend money for them to be able to align the wharf, so then we can have where the customs building, the old customs building was, longer ships can dock there now. Right now it cannot happen because of the way the wharf is. The old customs building has been broken down, and that entire area will be redeveloped into a parking area. And it will be designed in a way that when people get off the cruise ship, they must pass through the Vendors Arcade. So gone are the days when people can just get off a cruise ship, take a bus outside La Place Carénage, and never end up going in the Vendors Arcade. All of that will be redeveloped. At Point Seraphine, they will ensure and upgrade Point Seraphine for the largest ships in the world to be able to come to dock there, which it cannot do right now. GPH will do all of that. And of course, the final aspect of the agreement is the Banana Fishermen's Area. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? You all know the Banana area where the fishermen are. So this entire area will be redeveloped into a fisherman's village. It's along the Latok Highway, that area there. So it will be totally redeveloped with facilities for the fishermen, where they will have their own, quarters, their own, kiosks for selling fish, and there will be restaurants, and also a jetty will be built there. So this area will be totally redeveloped, and GPH is doing all of that as part of the agreement that we signed with them. So we met a GPH agreement. We renegotiated it and made sure that St. Lucia got more than what we were getting before. So when the Flabos come and they tell you about GPH and that, tell them they started with GPH. What we did was to better what GPH was giving St. Lucia, because we always put the people of St. Lucia first, and that's what we do. Any other questions?
Yes, good night, Honorable Prime Minister, honorable ministers in the House, and every audience. Good night. My question to Honorable Prime Minister, since he said we were going to win so comfortably, we're taking all the seats. That's what I said last elections. But I would like to ask him concerning, since we have gotten so close concerning decriminalizing marijuana, and then reparation.
Let's listen to the brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you see St. Lucia, if we win, let's say we will win comfortably all the seats, we have in the people, we're getting into a referendum, where we could get into a referendum and where reparation is concerned, St. Lucia taking a front row in, you know, mobilizing and centralizing our people together. Since the world now is getting so, and the Caribbean need to get together. So I just wanted to know his opinion on reparation, decriminalization of marijuana. It's getting into a bill. But reparation and St. Lucia taking our roles, if we take all these 17 seats, we can even ask for a referendum and then have our new style of government, St. Lucia taking a lead. Since we have laureates and people who can ask questions, I would like to raise.
Thank you very much. Before the Prime Minister comes, any other questions? We probably can answer two one time. Yeah.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I want to talk about, know about sports in Babonneau. Our playing field, Balata. And that is where we have schools cricket going on right now. And I tell you, I went to Grosile. I'm always in Grosile. And I tell you, when I look at Grosile, I say, Mama, boy, you look at nearby, go have Babonneau. So the Grosile playing field now, it's I could say first class. But we need something in Babonneau for sports, especially not football. We have for Assau, but we need something in Babonneau for cricket. I'm an umpire, you know, and I umpire. The Prime Minister's Cup is going on right now, and the first game is tonight in Grosile. But we need something where we can have covers, we can have changing room, we can have toilet facilities. Imagine the ladies don't want to come to watch cricket in Balata, you know, because you know, but as men we can go in the bush and but we need something in Babu. Yeah. And the Lager field, I pass there every morning. I remember once I brought in the former rep there, and I told him about Lager. Lager is what we'd call a mang, a lagon. And I told him he had to fix that. There was a guy there who had a contract for $140,000. I asked him if he could try and stop that and get that money into better use. He just go ahead and did that. But Lager is, I told him Lager is just like a man. So, I have another question concerning differently able. I have a child now who is suffering from cerebral palsy, and she cannot act. She's attending this school, but it's difficult to access various parts of the school. I can say, well, I went to the ministry once, and they did something. You could see this little white thing there and all around the school where she can move around. But to go upstairs is a burden. You have to carry her up and down the stairs every time. So I don't know what the government is thinking of, having differently able persons accessing an entire building, because it's not, although they say it's child-friendly school, but it's not friendly for the persons who are disabled. So I want to know what they have, and I would like to see something happening for us. And yeah, so that the children. In Castries, I wanted to make a point in Castries. Since I have been moving around with the child, especially in Castries, I saw they built a number of access places. But you know what happened in Castries? The fellas park on it. The vehicles park on the place where I have to pass with the child. They park there. And the policemen, they do nothing about that. They would pass by and see that. Sometimes I have to walk the whole street down. And when I reach there to pass, I have to go back and make another, because a vehicle parked directly on it. and I think this should stop. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the questions. Okay, the last and then the Prime Minister will answer.
Well, that's Shimon Nade. He come from Talbot, right? But he's a real aggressive sometimes, but you know, that is when things not going good. But he positive and he loving. But what I'm showing you in the meantime is when you talk about vehicle and you talk about all them kind of processes for the minister to do, there are so many young people that trying and then they ain't get no. They do get, why you got the money?
All
And
right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And they
Yeah, quickly ask
looking
your
for
question.
opportunities in the life. So you looking, well, a lot of the people I know, I raise amongst. I know I raise among the whole of Babonneau community. From the whole of Babonneau community know me. But the only thing with me, I do barber, yes. I try my best, I lose. I go to school, my education wasn't twice, so I try join, it lose. So all when I try, it lose. So okay, let me show you. So I come in, no, with you, I'm talking serious. So why you have to, when you elevate in the children, you doesn't think like the education in the book knowledge is good. But what about those that they now, that have all the ambitions and the knowledge, you know? And they have other things they could do. They have people could plant, they have farming, they have all kinds of, now he's a good person in farming. You understand? But it doesn't take us too much, you know, to elevate somebody. Yeah, so all I see about my minister, she's good. I will not lie to tell you, she's good. You understand? But she have to check on the right set of people first because of the, all I seen is elders and them saying this is a vehicle. All right, you have a vehicle, it breaks down. And I myself never knew when I could get a bicycle. Huh? You know, and you're talking about a vehicle that will how much money, and then I have my little child that I want a little bicycle. I'm just going to tell you, so when I'm showing you, you have to go to the low to get high.
Yeah.
But when you go in so high and then you never, you know, underneath you are low. So when you fall on top there, when you go down there, you're jumping down at it like a breadfruit that ripe.
Yeah. There's a guy behind you. Let him ask his question.
So what I trying and tell you there,
yeah.
the only thing I could say to my minister, watch on those that trying.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
in a little, because we're trying in a little and more we're going to get this standard. But I seen everything in the party, like, you know, them people and them that have the higher standard under the low, like a foot mat. You check what I'm telling you, so like,
all right, so let the guy behind you to ask his question now.
Huh?
Yeah, there's somebody behind you. Let him ask his question.
You want to ask me a question?
You want to ask a question too? Yeah, all right. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right, there is somebody at the mic. Let's listen to his question.
Good evening.
Good evening.
2 questions. We have a lot of traffic on the road from Grosilla to Castries. Is there some kind of vessels arrangement where you can have from Grosilla to the harbor in Castries and have people park the car in Grosilla to alleviate all this traffic from Castries to Grosilla? Is there any plans?
Okay. And what's the other one?
The other one, a couple of years back, we had plans to build a road from Louvette bypass to January. Is that still on the plan?
Okay, I think now the Prime Minister can probably come on. I think there are quite a lot of questions for the Prime Minister.
All right. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, comrade.
The first... Okay, the first question on marijuana. We were the first government. We are the first government to decriminalize marijuana. In that, if you are caught with a certain number or a certain weight of marijuana, you cannot be prosecuted. Further, everybody is allowed to plant 4 trees for their private use. Further, we created a council. It's called the Minister of Commerce, could help you in that, Regulated Substance Authority, that deals not only with marijuana, but with alcohol and all other of these substances. So we cannot tell you that the government is not working on trying to use marijuana as an economic tool, something that can enhance the economic welfare, first of the Rastas who were prosecuted for the use of marijuana, and secondly, to improve St. Lucia's foreign exchange capabilities. But it's not easy. It's something that we are working on, but the government has taken steps to decriminalize it. But I want to make a point about smoking, etc. We have to be careful because smoking and COPD is a serious problem in St. Lucia. A number of young people in this country are suffering from smoking, particularly mixing stuff when they smoke. And COPD is a serious health concern for St. Lucia. So I just want to warn young people to be careful about COPD, because COPD leads to an early loss of life. About reparations, we are working with CARICOM on reparations. We have a reparations committee now, and for the first time in this budget, I am going to give them a budgetary allowance so they can work on reparations, because we believe that for what we suffered under slavery, there should be some form of reparations for the people of the region. So we are working on it. But just before we leave, I want to tell you that what Virginia, Dr. Poyotte spoke about Babonneau is a vision for the people of Babonneau. A legacy for the people of Babonneau. A Babonneau that can be integrated, can be using its beauty for tourism, can be using its soil for agriculture, and can be using its talent for sports, etc. That's a vision, and it's rich cultural heritage. So we can merge culture with tourism and agriculture with tourism, and we can ensure that there's holistic development of Babonneau. That's what we have. A vision for the people of Babonneau. In terms of playing fields, the Minister of Sports is there, but I can tell you the last time I spoke to him, he was speaking about some improvement in the playing field in Babonneau, but he's there. I'll let him come and explain to you what has happened for Babonneau.
First and foremost, I would like to thank the Minister of Finance, because we have seen the greatest investment in St. Lucia's sporting infrastructure in the history of this nation. And I want to let people know that the success we had in 2024 was not by accident. I think I need to say this again. The success we had in sports development in St. Lucia was not by accident. We have seen the greatest intervention in our sporting program from cradle to veterans in this country. Now, I'm just going to say quickly that Babonneau and Grosile, as we always say, brother and sister. We always say that. Anytime Grosile gets something, Babonneau wants it too. Anytime Babonneau gets something, Grosile wants it too. The fact of the matter is, the Grosile playing field, in terms of proximity to the Darren Sammy Stadium and the Mindo Phillip Park, has been used for years as preparatory grounds for international events. So anytime there's a tour of the West Indies, of India, Grosile is used as a practice ground and the Mindo Phillip Park. And you must remember the state of the Mindo Phillip Park on the Grosile playing field when we came in government in 2021. They completely abandoned the Mindo Phillip Park. I challenge anybody, anytime you reach in town, go to the capital of Castries and see the work that has been done on the Mindo Phillip Park and the Masha grounds right now under this administration. When we came in government in 2021, there was an electricity bill at the Grosile playing field for $100,000. No lights on the Grosile playing field, complete abandonment. And it was this government that saw the vision, that saw the necessity for this population in Grosile to get a proper training ground, not just for the people of Grosile, but for every international team that comes in the north of the island. Now, that being said, the St. Lucia Labour Party, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, can anybody tell me where she's from? She's from Assau. And since she has been the permanent secretary, if it's one thing I hear ringing in my ears on a daily basis, is Babonneau, Babonneau, Babonneau. And so we have embarked on serious rehabilitation work on the Lague playing field. We have committed some finances to the... Now, we must be true to the history and what we inherited. We know that the Lague playing field was built with a wall that allowed for no drainage. And so we see anytime it rains, and we know it has been raining every single day, we have the issue with the type of surface and grass at the Lague playing field. But we, and from the pressure of this parliamentary rep, we have come up with a plan to deal with the surface at the Lague playing field, and it will be delivered to the people of Lague and Babonneau. The Debarra playing field is truly one of the heartbeats of cricket up north. If you want to enjoy cricket up north, I will tell you, you can come to Grosile, but the Debarra playing field have vibe. And so we have pledged to put lights on the Debarra playing field this year. And so you will see that work starting very, very soon. The MP has taken it upon herself to ensure that there are proper washroom facilities, and she is doing her part to ensure that sportsmen and women in Babonneau can enjoy cricket and football to the highest level. Now, the question about the Balata playing field. We have been working with the Ministry of Infrastructure to deal with the access to the Balata playing field. Let's be honest about the situation. There are many times you come to watch a cricket game or a football game at Balata, and if it rains, you cannot even get to the field. Let's be honest. So we need the intervention of a bridge first. That is priority number one. Once we get that intervention with the bridge, we will do all the proper washroom and facilities, and we will develop better lights. We'll change the lights at the Balata playing field so that the umpire that I so respect will enjoy his cricket right there in Balata. I can assure you and remind you that this is the government that's seeing what has happened with inflation around the world. This is the government that has removed VAT on all sporting equipment for the people of Babonneau. This is the government who has done it. This is the government who recently in cabinet, after much discussion, because we always sit and have discussion, have removed the burden of any property tax on a sporting organization establishing a secretariat. This is a government that has pledged an extra $1 million towards sporting equipment in the coming year. And so we're expecting that the men and women and the talent that we have in Babonneau, especially football, because new generation break my heart a couple of times already, as a Grizzlyan, I'm not ashamed to say it. The talent that we have in Babonneau when it comes to football, I encourage the administrators to do their part to ensure that we develop together the next generation of athletes in Babonneau. Thank you so much.
Good night, sir. The question as it pertains to your child with cerebral palsy. I too know some of the challenges. We get reports constantly at the ministry about access. Tonight I was pleased to come and realize that I was able to come to the auditorium through an access ramp. And I think that's commendable. And I realized that they also made a mini ramp here for you, but we're looking even further than that to have discussions to ensure that most of our schools are accessible. You would understand that these schools were built in a time where we did not have any disability-specific legislation. We're looking forward to putting in that type of legislation. This year, the ministry responsible for persons with disability will be doing quite a bit of work in that regard, because we understand the challenges like parents like yourself face as it relates to what you would have gone through in the city. Yes, you notice that there are some of them I think, even in my own opinion, and we wait for the professionals to tell us a bit too far in terms of one ramp here, the other one might be a very long distance from the one. But in terms of persons parking in these places, you can legislate to put ramps, you really cannot legislate against conscience. And it has to take the collective, you cannot legislate against conscience. So it really has to be us as a people, a collective, to see the need in respecting the signs. And I always say, until you find yourself as a person with a disability, you don't really understand and appreciate the reasons why they have the access ramps there. And when persons like yourself bring it up, because you go through it every day where you may have to push your child an extra 3-4 minutes. What if it rains? What if it rains? And you need to put yourself in these individual shoes. So I think it is a time for us as a country, even for us as leaders, to make the call into the public, the general public. And I think even from the ministry's point, we're going to go on a PR campaign just to enlighten people and sensitize them about persons with disability and some of the challenges that persons with disability go through. So, as I said, we want to, and I know you said the police don't do much. I don't quite agree with that. I know these days, say police are feel. So, hopefully with and the Prime Minister alluded to that, we've seen more police. If you go to the city now, you realize a lot more police in terms of the presence. A lot of individuals who used to take chances now think 3, 4, 5, 6 times before they take the chance. Places I used to see offloading zones, disability areas. I used to see persons just parked there indiscriminately. When I go there now, it's clear. So it speaks to the presence of the police. So I want to encourage the police to continue what they're doing. And as I said, we're going to continue working from the ministry's standpoint to see what we can do to improve the lives of persons with disability in this country. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we have answered many of our questions so far. And at this point, we want to take this opportunity to thank you, the people of Babonneau, and thank you, the people of St. Lucia. We want to, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyotte has a special presentation to make. We also want to announce that we have a country and western activity. When is that? The 28th. Where? Babonneau Multipurpose Center on the 28th will be hosting a country and western vibe. And I just want the sisters with tickets to just raise your hands. So if you require a ticket, Sister Alison Pascal is waving her hand. You can see her after the meeting to get your ticket. We also want to tell you that all roads will lead to the constituency of Ancillary on Sunday the 2nd. All roads will lead Oh, yes, new date, the 9th of March. All roads will lead to the constituency of Ansbury. 4 p.m. we will be at the waterfront. Dr. Poyotte.
In Babonneau, we believe in healthy lifestyle. So we call on the Prime Minister to continue to remain healthy to lead the nation.
Thank you very much, Parliamentary Rep. Thank you to the people of Babonneau. I will surely deal with these fruits because, you know, in what's coming up, I had to be fit. So, you know, when they see me looking fit and they, you know what they say, I'm sick. But the essence of my fitness is discipline and perseverance. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and a deputy is essential. We call on Honorable Hippolyte. And we like a secretary that is general. We call on Mr. Leo Clark. Is he around? Yes. General Secretary, the hardworking General Secretary, put your hands together for him.
Thank you, Parliamentary Rep. Thank you, Babonneau. That's going to provide some nourishment for the campaign that's ahead of us.
Wonderful. Put your hands together for Babonneau and Dr. Poyotte. Wonderful crowd. And we really, really appreciate your questions. And of course, we want to invite you to continue to follow us on Facebook and stay tuned to the pages of the government of St. Lucia, also of the Office of the Prime Minister, where you learn more about the good things that your administration is doing for you. We have come to the end of Townhall Tuesday in Babonneau. We just want to invite our constituents who have come from far and wide that we do have some refreshments over towards the back of the room. And we want to again say a special good evening to those of you out in the diaspora. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are closing off for now, and hopefully we see you very soon. The next time, maybe in the constituency of Ansbury Canneries, on March 9th from 4 p.m. at the waterfront. Honorable Wayne Gerard will be in fine form. Now, just in case we have another Town Hall Tuesday, you know Prime Minister likes to surprise us. Yes, and also for our special guests, we have refreshments in the back. Thank you so much for tuning in to Town Hall Tuesday. My name is Lisa Jawa here. Those of you who are going far, we hope that you get home safely. Again, have a special good night.